Hello and welcome to Spice Lab UK. My name is Owen Parfitt and today we are interviewing Radio Wave breakfast presenters Ged and Hayley. We are honoured for them to be our first guests. Come in, I'll show you around.
Okay.
Good morning and welcome to Spice Lab UK. Today I'm interviewing Ged and Hayley from Radio Wave breakfast show. Hayley, what inspired you to become a radio presenter?
When I was about your age, so when I was a teenager, I used to get quite a bit of homework, and I wasn't allowed to have the TV on. I wasn't allowed any distractions. But my mum did say I could have the radio on while I did it, and I never really listened to the radio much as a really young person. But as a teenager, I got to listen to it and like it, and it was kind of at about 12 or 13 I decided that they had, in my opinion, what was the coolest job in the world. So I pretty much made up my mind there, and then that's what I wanted to do.
Ged, what makes you determined to get up every morning to be a radio presenter?
I don't know. I really like what we do. As in, it's a great job. So that's why if you don't like your job, it obviously makes it more difficult. So yeah, we get up early, but I really like what we do. And I think what's interesting when it snows, for example, I think what's great is that I'm always sort of thinking, right, and I set my alarm for about 3 o'clock in the morning, because then if I wake up and it's really bad and you think I have to walk to it, because you see it as sort of a duty that you've got to be there, because then you're the one that lets everybody else know that, hey, there's going to be major problems and stuff like that. So yeah, for me it's I don't know, it's sort of making sure that everybody else is going to be all right, and you just want to be on the radio just to have a laugh, really. So yeah, it's a great job, best job in the world.
Hayley, did you ever see yourself becoming a radio presenter?
It was tricky because when I was at school, 20 years ago now, there wasn't really much in the way of media and qualifications, nothing official. You couldn't go to university and do the radio stuff you can do now. So there wasn't really a way to get in like that there maybe is now. So I always knew I was going to do it. I just wasn't quite sure how. And I think when you meet radio people in the business, you'll find that tenacity and determination are what we all have in common. If you listen to everyone that said you're not going to do it, or if you took every knockback to heart, then you really wouldn't get far. Part of the skill of what we do and then is the will to succeed, and he's not giving up really, is just continuing to try to get your foot in the door.
Ged, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Difficult one, really. I don't know, probably doing something to do with sports broadcasting more than music broadcasting, what I'm doing now. So something to do with that. But it's a tough industry, things don't move about. You've got to be lucky. You've got to be lucky to get sort of maybe where you want to be or not. But no, it's probably something to do with that, really.
Hayley, what is so special about working at Radio Wave? Name your best 2 moments and why.
The most special thing about working at Radio Wave is because it's where I live. It's where I come from. I was born at the Vic. I've lived my whole life here. Went to school here, and so it's where I do all my living. So I really care about the people that live here, and if it affects the listeners, well, it probably affects me as well. So I think I feel luckier than people that perhaps work on national radio stations, because this is where I live, and I get to have a say about that like everyone else does. My 2 most special moments. It's a really difficult question. I think once we'd spent 5 days living in Blackpool Tower, I think that for me was when Ged and I put our heart and soul into something, and you commit to something and you go to work on a Monday morning. I think we came in at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning and left at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, and we slept and we did everything there and raised lots of money for charity. I would say that's probably my proudest moment, and I don't really know about any others. There's been loads of great things that have happened, meeting some of your idols, and maybe the other one, which actually wasn't on air, but I wouldn't have had the opportunity had it not been for Radio Wave, was to host the Illumination Switch On a few years ago. And that was, again, because as a teenager, I'd stood in Talbot Square watching other people do that and thought, God, I wish I could do that. And then, to kind of walk onto that stage with Ged and go, good evening, Blackpool, welcome to the Switch On night, was a really special thing for me.
Ged, what are the highlights of being a radio presenter?
It's a great job. You don't go 9 to 5, and you don't seem to complain about your job. So you sort of, everyone sort of has these complaints. Oh, I wish I was doing something different, but this is what we want to do. So it's great. You have fun all the time. I don't see it as a job. It's weird. It's one of those industries where you just get paid for having fun. That's what it is. So I don't. It's weird. Yeah, it's strange how you sort of someone actually pays you at the end of the month for it all. But because you'd be doing it, and I did do it. I did it before for free. So someone's paying me now to do exactly what I did for free, which is weird.
Hayley, what would you give advice to young people wanting to become a presenter?
The first thing, my only regret is a weird way to start this answer, but my only regret is not getting a degree. If I could go back, I would have told my 16-year-old self to go and get a degree, and then just knock on doors. And as I said earlier on, just be persistent. If it's what you want to do, be persistent and then listen to the feedback you get. If you send in a demo or you send in some material, then listen to what people have to say about it, because it's a bit like when you watch the X Factor and people think they've got it and they can sing, and then when you hear them and they really can't, and someone needs to tell you, because I genuinely believe not everybody can be a presenter. You need to think on your feet. You need loads of different sort of skills, really, and it's one of those jobs you can't really learn how to do it. You can either do it or you can't, and I think sometimes listen to the advice that you're given, but keep trying. And maybe if you're not good enough to be a presenter, there's other things you can do. You know, sometimes people are a bit shy about being a presenter, but make great producers who contribute a little bit to the on-air output and enjoy that, but wouldn't like to sit there on their own for 4 hours and present a whole show. So yeah, listen to the feedback you get. But mine would be get a degree and carry on studying for as long as you can.
Jed, where did you first meet Hayley, and what are the best moments you've had working with her?
We first met when I came to sort of make tea for the late night guy, and that's how I got into radio, making cups of tea like most people did. And then you worked it from there. So it'd have been that there.
Right.
It would have been something like that. So it'd have been around that time. So that's when we first met. So around about, what's that, 13 years ago. Best moments, yeah, probably like Hayley said before, 5-day breakfast. That was great. That was just good fun, wasn't it? Really, from Monday to Friday.
And it was just us. There was no one else.
No, yeah, and that was a good laugh. And like I say, when everyone, because it was busy during the day, but when everyone packed up, went home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then it's just us till
for 12 hours,
6 in the morning,
and the
sort
night
of
watchman.
thing. Yeah, night watchman and his weird cat. But so that was that, and we that was great. Yeah, and I think all the hosting gigs we do, like Illuminations and Living Festivals and Miss Blackpool's and all them, they're good because you're working as a team. So it's one of them that I know I can rely on Hayley if anything goes wrong, and same vice versa. And it's I do enjoy them. They're good, and I don't know. Again, they're a bit of a laugh, aren't they? That they're good events. We have a laugh at them, and you get paid for them, and they're good.
Your best moments about working with Jed?
There's been loads. One of the funniest things that we did together, and it was only kind of marginally on air, was we surprised our producer by turning up on a date that we'd arranged for him, and we went in disguise. So I wore a really thick black bobbed wig, and Jed wore what could only be described as a horrific wig and a terrible moustache. And it's probably the funniest moment of my life. I thought I was going to die because I was laughing so much. But yeah, it's weird. Working with Jed, it's a weird relationship. He's like my brother, but he's like he's my best friend at work. So it's like we said, that the trust and the reliability we have to have on each other is massively important. And I don't know, no days at work are boring. Jed makes me laugh every single day without fail. I don't think in the 13 years I've known him, every time I've seen him, he makes me laugh. So we come to work and we laugh a lot. But yeah, the highlight for me was the promotion was called I Heart Aaron, and I actually thought on that night I was going to die of laughter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was.
I Heart Aaron.
That was.